Welcome into the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty, where today we stay at home in Palo Alto, continuing our home stretch as BYU returns to the Pac-12 as we set to face the Cougars. But it has not been a triumphant return for those Cougars, as they have just one win on the season and a tough stretch of games to finish the season. Only one team that they will face without a win in Arizona. Boise State not necessarily having the best season either. But BYU's quarterback in Quincy Turry, he's actually having a pretty decent season. 1,500 passing yards, 16 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. The running game is doing mostly well. Glenn Coleman as well as Turry both averaging over 4 yards a rush. They're just struggling to get into the end zone. And at receiver, they do have some star power. The young sophomore receiver in Silas Gilliam with about 450 yards, 4 touchdowns. He leads them in receptions as well. But it's Sean Alabi who leads them in touchdowns with 9. Their oldest and highest overall receiver in Tremaine Jewell, only 19 catches, 251 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They're not getting the ball to their tight end that much either. And defensively, it's primarily a group effort, though their star leading them is Darquez Durant with 5 TFLs, 4.5 sacks. And they're going to need him to perform because Montrell Dog has been 103 and a touchdown versus Utah. And in our overtime win against Colorado, 106 and another touchdown. Gordon Draft also ran very well in that game. And it'll be those two that Coach Barrington expects to lead this team against a struggling BYU. As Mays gets us underway. A big boot, sending it all the way back to the end zone. They will return it, though it's not going to be for a good return. Starting at the 14, Quincy Turry. Can he lead BYU to an upset? This Cardinal defense at times has looked extremely good. They've also at times looked pretty bad. We'll see who arrives today, as it's a stretch to the outside. Thad Smith meets him. They'll credit Coleman with a gain of 2, a 2nd and 8. As they look to set up the screen here, tunnel screen with some blockers in front. Gilliam's got the first. They find their rising star here early on and look to go back to the running game. Coleman with a good pull in front of him opens up the space. They'll rumble for a gain of 9 on first down, setting up a 2nd and short. Shotgun look for Turry, who goes read option, and I'm not sure what happened there with Sampson, but he just froze. It looked like he had Turry plenty contained, but he just forgot to finish the play. As a scramble, he runs into Sampson. Ball ends up coming out awkwardly, but with the forward motion of that, it's incomplete. 2nd and 10, they find the quick hitter to their tight end. Schlegel brings him down. We've got a 3rd and a long one here, maybe about 1.5. As Turry dumps off the tight end, will polish off that first down. Frederick Shelley, the Utah native, setting him up at the 34. They hand it off, and it's a quick stop by Paschal. The Cardinal have a good few young players themselves. It's a loss of 2. As they go with the stretch to the outside, Kiki's all over him this time, plus a flag comes down. It was a hold, but a pretty bad one, as it didn't work. And Coach Barrington will decline that penalty and forces a 3rd and 13. Could have taken him outside of field goal range, but that pass comes up well short. Though it will be a kick here, about a 55-yarder. And he's got plenty of leg, and he sends it down the middle. Smoot with a long field goal for the Cougs. Gets him on the board. And overall, they've got to feel pretty happy about that. A long first drive ending in points. Now time for the Cardinals to hit the field as they start at the 21. It's pistol ace. Montrell Dog takes it down the middle for a gain of 3. He's been a cornerstone of this offense the last few weeks, really filling in what Coach Barrington was wanting from this group to start the season. As Camp technically scrambles, but with a quick response from the edge, it's only a gain of 1, forces a quick 3rd down. And there was definitely a false start by the defense. They don't flag it. Gomez is close, and it doesn't look like the refs are going to give it. Very much not a favorable spot here for the Cardinal playing at home, but they keep the offense out there. It's a goal line set, and Gordon Draft, he'll pick up the first. They go with the QB sneak in it, just about pans out. Now with a different look here, they shift around the safety, and Dog lowers the shoulder into the linebacker, and Darquez Durant is shaken up for the BYU Cougars. He was the one player Coach Barrington was worried about when it came to stopping the run. He exits the field. We'll see at a later point how big that injury is. Under pressure, though, Draft is scrambling, outruns, and still is outrunning Leon all the way down to the 15. He just never quite caught up to Gordon Draft. And it goes as a massive gain for the Cardinal. He'll head to the sideline here as Thompson checks in, Wildcat quarterback. Takes it right-hand side, blocking opens up, and Thompson will take it. From the direct snap, Cardinal march down the field a little bit quicker than a march. They ran down the field and take a 7-3 lead. And that touchdown comes courtesy of some amazing blocking. A great job from the O-line. Well, now it goes over to Turry, who's got to try to answer. They started the drive off pretty well. He's starting the drive here with a big run of his own, taking that one for about a gain of 20 plus. Well, the Cardinals have faced quarterbacks that can scramble. They haven't really faced running quarterbacks. Takes a big one there with a 1st and 10 now up to the 37. Cardinal bring the blitz. And it's going to be a pass to the outside that's caught, finding a little bit more space until finally he's brought down by Schlegel. BYU goes hurry up off of it. They like to keep the Cardinal here in the double A gap. Turry making some more changes. He's got 2 to the left-hand side, 1 to the right, and swatting that one down is Marcock. He's got a lot of speed. He's been burned a few times this year, so he's not exactly using that speed all too well. This time open to the outside is Coleman, who cuts up. He gets the first down. Atkins brings him down. And it is Atkins who's back into the starting lineup. He was benched the other game for Pua. Coleman takes the handoff here, and he's going to pick up a gain of 7. BYU so far with a nice blend of run and pass, really spreading things out here. The 2nd and 3, they go to the outside, and Schlegel gets there late. Shelley breaks his tackle and picks up an extra 4. That puts BYU right back inside the 10 here with the final play of the quarter. And hopping over one tackle, finally pushed down at about the 1 or 2. We send this one into the second with a 7-3 lead for the Stanford Cardinal. However, BYU, they're set to take that away. That's thanks to some pretty weak defense for the Cardinal out the gate. As we start the second, it's 2nd and goal. They mark it just about at the 2. Handing this one off, Coleman is stuffed by Thad Smith. Barely makes it back to the line. And a tight look here. They hand it off, and Coleman is stuffed again. This time it's Senior, the linebacker, who I believe is a redshirt sophomore. 4th and goal. They bring back out Smoot with a very tight angle, and he sneaks that one in, maybe by about an inch or 2. But it's a good goal line stand there by the Cardinal defense, and it is 7-6 with a 1-point lead. Cardinal offense can retake the field. As it's a read option. Great job from the edge man. Took a couple hard steps in, forced Draft to keep it, and then stuffs it. It's a loss of 2. 2nd and 12. As they swing it out on the RPO, questionable throw, but it does find Blouse for a good gain. A 3rd and 5 now, bunch to the right-hand side. As they look downfield, it's tipped away. Sitting back in zone is the linebacker Trent Voss. He breaks it up. If he didn't, they had Lanier coming across, but a good stop by the BYU defense, and their offense can take the field. They've driven down to the red zone, 2 straight drives, but it's 2 field goals and a sack as the edge rushers combine. Sony Fotu, Cassius Sampson. And for Sampson, that means he's hit the quarterback in every single game this season, keeping that streak well alive. As they go jet sweep, Fotu can't contain. Schlegel chops him out at the knee. They get their redshirt freshman for a big gain. almost negating that sack entirely. 3rd and 4. Cardinal bring the blitz. They get it out. They've got the first down. A bad step from Tim Easy. He will eventually catch up, especially with the help coming in of Antonio Asher. But a huge play there from Turry. And what could have been a sack, instead a massive gain here for the Cougars. As they're down at the 33, they go Coleman. Brought down Sony Fotu from behind. They've at least made it to about the 30 each drive. This one's still set to continue as Coleman bounces it to the outside. It looked like the linebacker tripped. Not that he necessarily would have made the play anyway. But a 3rd and 3 as they will look to pass this ball, rolling and getting there just in time. Sony Fotu takes a little bit off that pass, makes it short. 4th and 3. Smoot back out here and not getting the block. They had a good beat around the edge, but Smoot puts BYU in front. He wanted the flag for a slight little touch there. As that's a little bit more than slight. Salmon came diving in, nearly found the block. But it's 3 straight scoring drives for BYU that has them on top here, 9-7. We start back at the 20, about halfway through the second. And throwing, first catch of the day for Moses, about a couple inches shy of the first down marker. They definitely have not been very courteous with these markings for the Cardinal, making things harder for him at home. As Dog takes the handoff, huge block from Enrique Heath. He ended up picking up 2 on the play. Gotta love when your guards go out there and put in the work. He is one of our All-Americans, only one along the offensive line. The 1st and 10. They go back to the running game. It opens up for Dog, but he trucked the air, slows him down. Not that we're going to complain about a gain of 7, though, on first down, as we're inside 3 minutes now. And under pressure again, Draft. He tried to bounce it. It's not going to work this time. Leon brings him down. He had the step on him with that big run. Not going to get it. Instead, it's a 3rd and 12. As they pass to the outside, they get George Ball, who turns up for the first. Big conversion there for the redshirt freshman. He brings a lot of speed to this Cardinal receiving group that already is pretty fast in itself, with a short gain to follow. Cardinal do have 3 timeouts as we're inside a minute 40. Play action again. Eventually getting to the outside, they find Curtis Aneni, who's going to turn up and pick up a nice gain to the 28. Seems like this BYU team lacking a little bit of speed on the defense. Motion comes in from the right-hand side. It's Blouse. Play action. And spinning, throwing that ball is well behind Aneni. Draft has to feel pretty lucky there. That one was not picked off. 2nd and 10. They go back to the running game as Dog nearly bounced through. Just couldn't quite burst through that last gap. It is a 3rd and 4 inside a minute. Draft, he's dropping back. He's got Gomez to the outside. Who gets the catch? Speeding and diving over the goal line. Gomez polishes off the touchdown drive as the Cardinal retake the lead here. 46 seconds left before the break. And it'll leave it up to the defense to make sure that they don't give up another score, as it's 44 seconds as BYU takes the field offensively. They've passed pretty well, and they're going to start with one here, picking up 12, and they call a timeout. The lobby picks up the gain, and they've got 40 seconds left. 2 timeouts as they call one early. 1st and 10. Kiki across the middle. He drops the pick. He was in the head of Turry, and he doesn't make him pay for it. 35 seconds left. Life still in here for BYU as they pass to the outside quickly. Gilliam gets the catch. Makes things a little bit more manageable for 3rd and 5. 32 seconds. They got 1 timeout remaining. And rolling to the right, there goes Turry sliding down in front of Atkins. They called their final timeout. They still got 26 seconds. First down, stop the clock here, college football, and they're going to have one here, all the way down to the 32. It's Sean Alabi, but they run out of time. They didn't get back to the line quick enough, very much not using their time correctly there. They could have tried to get another field goal off. Cardinal catch themselves a little bit lucky, but they've got to clean up the passing game. 178 passing yards allowed for BYU. A pretty mixed, even game for the Cardinal. They had a nice run from Thompson to get that first touchdown off a massive draft scramble. Draft then comes back the next time, and he finds the touchdown going to the tight end in Emmanuel Gomez. As for BYU, Alabi leads them in yards with 80 receiving. Rushing has also been pretty solid for him, Coleman and Turi. They're going to need their defense to come ready to play, as it is Cardinal ball to start the second half. 14-9. Cardinal defense needs to make some adjustments of their own. Good news is they'll have plenty of time to do that, as it should be a long drive here of the Cardinal to get going, at least if things go according to plan, as Dog continues the ground and pound work. Well, that's been the plan the whole season long. Thompson checks in here. It's 3rd and 4. Draft keeps it again, and it's a stuff on the outside. He hands that one off to Thompson. He's got the first. But Matt Sabri appears to just be making those decisions difficult for Gordon Draft. It's a quick stop by the BYU defense, exactly what they needed. As they get Coleman to the outside, Sampson contains. He's had a few short runs, a couple pop off for some good gains. 2nd and 8. As they look to set up the screen his way, the ball gets popped up off of someone's helmet. I'm not sure who you give credit to breaking that one up. Their left tackle or Sony Fotu, who looked to actually push him into the passing window. But into the passing window this time for the first down. Again, the Cardinal don't make the play. It was 3rd and long. They just let the seam route open right up. Into plus side now, Turi trying to get his team set up here. As they go with a stretch, back again, trying to get Coleman to the outside. He's going to lose 2. That time Antonio Asher makes the tackle. And they're back at the 49. 2 to left-hand side. They're going to make that 3 as they motion out the running back, Coleman. And it's a smoke screen for the quick throw to Gilliam. Smart play there by Turi. He recognized the man coverage. He hit that almost immediately. Coleman back to the outside, and he's going to get roadblocked. The speedy Marcook showing off a little bit of some power with that one. 2nd and 10. As they go back to the passing game and picking up the first down goes Shelley. He's already doubled his average catches per game in this one. The 1st and 10. They swing it out RPO to the outside of Lobby. He's continuing to put together a big game. He's primarily been playing in the slot, and he's really showing off what he can do. They've moved him around a little bit. Dump off does not work that time. Kiki with the quick stop, and it looks like that's going to bring out another running back. Their 3rd one checks into the game with some big blocking, and he takes it to the end zone. All he had to do was hop over the downed defender. And Esteban Weeks, the senior running back, puts BYU in front, but it's going to be just by 1. They're going to bring out the 2-point team here to try to make it a field goal game. Turi avoids the rush, he throws it, but the tight end couldn't stay in bounds. It'll just be a 1-point lead. But if we're being honest, they shouldn't be this close anyway. Starting back at the 19, Cardinal got to put together a good drive here to regain their own lead. And as they've done all day, they start with Dog. He picks up 5. So we got 3 minutes here left in the 3rd. Back to Dog, who takes on the linebackers for 2. That leaves the Cardinals still needing to pick up 3 more here, and it'll have to be done on 3rd. They get motion on the right-hand side as Blouse. It's a tight box. Throwing to the outside, and it's by the diving Moses. The only time the Cardinal have not continued offensive drives, it's been their own fault. Not that they're of the defense making big plays. And juking out the linebackers, Coleman bursts forward for 15. That play should have been stuffed at the line. Instead, up to the 45 now. Hard count nearly gets the jump. And a pass to the outside is caught. One of the few on the day for Jewell, who again is their highest rated receiver. He just doesn't see as much production. As they go to Alabi, he's seen a lot today. He picks up another first. And BYU's offense essentially has had free reign all the way down to the 10-yard line. Handing this one off, slipping the first tackle, but then gets crunched. A hurtful one there for Coleman. As they are just inside the 40. 2 receivers to the left-hand side. Cardinal bring the blitz. It's blocked up well, at least at the beginning. Then Sampson just fires around the edge like a cannon and takes out Turi. He'll put the Cardinal in a good position to get off the field as we head to the fourth quarter. But this game is close, a 1-point lead for BYU. Stanford, they need to put on a show here in the fourth and run away with this one. And it all starts by making the stop here on third. At the 47, they need 16. And he scrambles to the outside, but slides down at about the 39. That'll get him just inside the range here for Smoot, who's already hit some pretty good kicks today. This one going to be about a 56-yarder. Again, the leg looks good, and he's got a fourth. This dude might be headed to the NFL. And that means the Cardinal really can't let them get by the midfield line, which makes things difficult. Starting at the 17, a long field to even get to the midfield line for the Cardinal. As Draft tries to step up, he gets boxed in by Gomez. The offense, while it's moved pretty steadily, it really hasn't put on a show today like Coach Barrington was hoping. And nearly throwing the pick. Looked like Draft was expecting a Nenny to be there, but he just got stopped behind the tackle. It's 3rd and 7, a hard count, make it 3rd and 2. And that actually feels like a pretty big play there for the Cardinal. A short down in distance, 3rd and 2, expect him to go to number 32. That's exactly what he do, right behind Enrique Heath. A big burst there from Montrell Dog takes him to the 39. With 7 minutes left, still plenty of time for them to run the ball, and that's what they're gonna do. They have not really tried to air out the ball much today. Everything has been kind of short or medium. As they throw here, they get it to Blouse. He's got the first down. And he gets them into plus side as well. With a pistol set here, one receiver either side. They go with the play action. This time they could get it out to Aneni. He's got space as he angles for about a gain of 20. But again, it's another short pass. They're just getting some catch after the run in this one. As we move inside 6 minutes. Hand it off to Montrell Dog. Good blocking. They get to the second level, and he's to the third for the first. A good steady drive here for the Stanford Cardinal. They just need to finish this one. With a pass downfield, Curtis Aneni. Not only did he drop it in the back of the end zone, he didn't get the foot down either. That looked to be a missed opportunity for the Cardinal. At the 17, 2nd and 10. They go back to the running game. They take on the linebacker, bouncing off of it, showing off a little juke goes Dog. He nearly finds the first down there, but 3rd and 1, they'll call it. Thompson checks in, and he takes it down the middle. He's got the first. And now we see both the running backs come out with a 1st and goal. Keeping it Dog, but red Leon. They ran it from one of those wildcat formations earlier. Worked out for Thompson, not so much for Dog. They go back to a traditional look here with a pistol. And they throw to the left-hand side. It's Moses into the end zone. Cardinal will take the lead here yet again. With the PAT, they will make it a field goal game, 21-18. But we've seen Smoot hit 4 of 4 from distance. Cardinal defense has to lock things down. As they start with the run, it's a good lockdown there, no gain. Coleman has had some good ones in this one, doesn't get it there. They go with the play action, and he's left wide open. Thad Smith flying over, he gets shucked off, but slows him down for the help to arrive. And it brings up a 3rd and 2. Double A gap look, they get the quick pressure, but quickly Turry goes to a lobby, and he's been their guy today. Man on man that time with Atkins, and he was well left behind. Looking to pass down the seam, Kiki, what a play. They had their guy yet again, but the ball just a little bit short. 2nd and 10 as they look to set up these slants. Just taking it for a short scramble instead goes Turry. That sends us inside the 2-minute warning, another 3rd and 8. Big play here for the Stanford Cardinal. As they pass across the middle, it's broken up by Marcock. They tried to find a lobby yet again. And they keep the offense out here. Inside 2 minutes, it's 4th and potentially game. 2 spread either side. Pass downfield, and Thad Smith swats it away. It's a turnover on down. The Stanford Cardinal offense can start on plus side territory. as they look to get their team set up here. One spread either side, back in the pistol. They get a pretty good rush immediately, but downfield, they find Curtis Aneni, who tried to hurdle. Corner wasn't having any of that. Takes him down at the 6, a big play to get this drive underway. And then they hand it off Montrell Dog, and quickly a 2-score lead. Stanford opened things up as the defense finally makes a stop. Offense capitalizes 28-18. With a minute 41 and 3 timeouts still left for BYU, this game is not over. Some plays can still be made. As they look to pass the ball, they get it out to Shelley, who beats the zone coverage. First timeout called. They mismanaged the clock to end the first half. They've got to be smart with it to end this game. As they throw downfield, it's off the hands of Thad. That one could have been a game sealer. 2nd and 10. Sampson with another rush. He puts a big hit in on Turry, but it's going to be a gain of 9. They find Shelley with it. He's had a pretty good game as well. The passing game just in general has, as it's Gilliam who mosses Asher. Just plucked it away from him. Typically, he's the one doing that to the receivers. 1st and 10 plus side at the 36. More empty set. Pass across the middle, and it's a big hit from Atkins. And he's got to start making a lot more plays like that if he wants to stay in the starting lineup. 2nd and 10, they go spread empty. Sampson with a rush. And again, Gilliam plucks it away from Asher. He thought he had a pick. Down inside the 5. They call a timeout. They got one more remaining. They're about the 3.5-yard line. Coleman in the backfield next to Turry, though they will look to throw. Turry scrambles. Kiki can't bring him down. They get the touchdown. They're going to need the onside attempt here. And we know if they get it, they can hit a long field goal to tie this game. And Smoot sends it to the second level. It's picked up by Lanier, who's going to take it to the middle at the 55. That should be game. Gordon Draft will come out here to kneel this one away. With only the one timeout, they will not have enough time to get the ball back. 28-25 is your final score here in Palo Alto. It was not a dominant game like Coach Barrington was challenging his team to find. And it wasn't really the smoothest offensive game either. Gordon Draft definitely had his hiccups here and there, but the offense did enough. Defense did enough, and that really is the synopsis of this game. Doing just enough to pull out the win against a one-win BYU Cougars. But we keep the home streak alive here and continue building. And with that win, Stanford also looks to conclude at least their initial recruiting class as Josh Biggums, the listed running back athlete out of Antelope, California, 5-star commits, and they land Kari Madu, the tight end out of Kernersville, North Carolina, a 4-star but one of the top tight ends in the class. And with Cassius Sampson's big plays, he ends up picking up your defensive Pac-12 player of the week. Well deserved, and we need to take a look at his stats for the season. And not only does he lead this team in TFLs with 12, he also leads the team in sacks with 8.5. Sony Fotu has had just 4.5. And none of Fotu's seasons have compared to what he's done, or what he did do as a redshirt freshman. 16.5 sacks, 32 TFLs. He had a lot of TFLs his sophomore year, 21. 7 sacks, a pretty low number compared to the 16.5. Just 2.5 last year. But he's still kept with 2-digit TFLs. He's close to hitting that again. And if he keeps the pace, he will at least match what he did for sacks in his sophomore year. If he has a big bounce back here late, maybe he could get to double digits there. But right now, the king of the rush is Cassius Sampson. He has 8.5 his sophomore season. He saw a little bit of playing time last year as a true freshman, and in his limited snaps, he picked up 2 sacks. So it was signs of what was to come here for Cassius Sampson, and maybe he is our next Tafiti, not Sony Fotu, which we all expected. But outside of personal stats, the team in general are on a nice streak here. 3 wins, and the challenge was for them to come out of this homestand being 6-2. We are 2 games away from doing that. We have Oregon State up next, and then UCLA. Oregon State we've had mixed games against. UCLA we've done very well against. And then we get into 2 revenge games that I would love to dominate in, Washington and Oregon. If we play like we did today in those games, we will not be victorious. So we've got 2 weeks to fix that. And I think something that needs to change, as mentioned during that video, is here at safety. We have redshirt senior Chuck Atkins, and he just hasn't played very well out there. Despite having really good ratings, 81 awareness, 91 play rec, the man coverage is low. And I think we're sticking him in a spot that we probably shouldn't with that. He probably should be playing free safety. So maybe we need to make a change, and we stick him at free. That means Schlegel. Unfortunately for him, he'll move to the bench, but he's a sophomore. He's got time. Who else do we have to step up and play strong safety? There is Soma Pua. He's seen a little bit of playing time, and he has more man coverage. That might help us out. He doesn't have as much zone, so we'll have to play with things. Another option could be taking someone from the cornerback spot, Ty Holly. He doesn't have perfect zone coverage, but he has a little bit. He very much has some man coverage, and he has some decent tackling, so we could look to shift some guys around. We could even take someone like Tim Easy, who has 73 tackling. He's got a little bit more zone, definitely has the man, and stick him at safety. I could then move Markuk to the outside, and then Atkins could play some slot, because he's done well in that position. We'll start to play with things a little bit to get this defense tuned up. But as mentioned, next time will be against Oregon State. They are unranked. We've climbed up to 11. And we've got to continue pushing that gas pedal to the metal here to get ourselves going. We are well outmatching these teams in overall. We just have to show it on the field. So make sure you see if we do that by hitting the bell icon on the bottom right or scrolling down and hitting the sub button. And definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when Cassius Sampson and this team hits the field, because he's having a dominant season. But we'll be back next time, still at home, as we take on the Beavers.